Hello, hi everyone. Once again, welcome to the channel. This is your boy again, Jackson. This video is long overdue, but I must do it. People been asking for it, my friends been asking for it. And again, I would like to let you guys know that I only do one take in my videos. The reason for that is I don't think any one of us is perfect in life. Trying to portray a picture of perfection, I don't think is realistic. And we actually have enough of that in social media that that's not what I'm about. So, again, thank you for tuning in. The title of this video, it's a good one. Trust your process. Trust your process. And if you asking, well, Jackson, how do I trust my process if I do not even have a process? Well, my friend, if you do not have a process, you must come up with one. I want you to think about any large company, any large organizations, any successful individual without a process. Can you think of one? If you just looked at last night, the Golden State Warriors, not to talk about sport, won the championship. How did they win the championship? They have a process. They have a way they play. If you look at Beyonce, or not to be talking about anybody famous, but any famous person, they have a process and they trust that process. So would your process be perfect in the beginning? No. But I want you to come up with a process that will get you to your end goal in life. Whatever your end goal is, but I know most of us, our end goal is to be as happy as possible. As you guys know already, I believe that you have your different areas in life. You have your mental, you have your health, you have your financials, and you have your relationships. You guys know already from my previous videos that I believe in being balanced. I don't believe in just being good or great at one thing. There's plenty of people who are great at one thing. If that's your goal, that's fine. That's okay. If you want to be the richest person alive, that's your goal, that's fine. You need to find some of the richest people alive, hang around them, learn the process, and become that. If you want to be the best wife or husband possible, find a good example, try to model after the way they live their life, whatever you can pick up, take away the positive, leave out the negatives, and model that. If you want to be the healthiest person possible, find a gym person or whatever, model after that. But if you're trying to be balanced, that's a whole different thing. If you're trying to balance your mentals, your health, your financials, and your relationships, that's what I'm talking about. So at the end of the day, you have the goal, you want to be happy. But in order to be happy, that you have to learn to improve in all the different areas that I'm talking about, all the different four areas that I talked about. Now, how do you get to that goal? That will be your process. Your process is simply your formula to get to that end goal that you want, which is your happiness. And your happiness comes from improving the four areas that I talked about. So will that formula be perfect in the beginning? Of course not. But you must learn to adjust it to fit you. And I know a lot of times it's easy to look at other people's end product and try to look at that end product and try to measure yourself to that. Well, that would be impossible to do because you're looking at somebody's end product. If you look at Kevin Hart, for example, don't look at where he's now, one of the best stand-up comedians in the country. Look how he started. Look at his first performances. Look at his second, third, fourth. But what I guarantee you, what you will see is improvement from one performance to the next, to the next, to the next. That's because he has a process. And then he's following that process. He's perfecting it. He's adjusting it. He's making little tweaks to it to make sure that it works. I know where most of us get in trouble is even when we come up with that process, we expecting it to work right away. Kind of like the microwave version of things. Pop it for 30 seconds and it's done. Well, life doesn't work that way. Things take time. So when you, in the beginning, when you see your process is not working, don't jump off ship and then run to the next process. Then that's not working. Then you run to the next one. Then that's not working. You run to the next one. Don't do that. Stick with your process. When people tell you it's not working, don't listen to that. When people tell you, oh man, you've been doing this for years, it's not working, don't listen to that. So let's tackle the 4 areas. Let's first talk about your mental. We know how important mental health is, especially with the society that we live in. Like we talked about the last video, the kind of pressure people are in. How do you improve your mental health? Well, you have a lot of outside distractions. You have a lot of things that you can control, and you have a lot of things you cannot control. What, from everyone I talk to, and I can use myself as an example, I learned the best way to keep your mental health in check is to worry about the things you can control and don't worry about the things you cannot control, because they will always be there. I give you a perfect example. If you hanging around with a bunch of negative people and you're always complaining about how much those same people are irritating you, that is something you can control. You can remove yourself from an environment and get yourself to an environment that is more positive. Something you cannot control is what your government does, what happened in your city. In order to keep your mental health in check, you have to live with the things you cannot control and try to improve in the things you can control. So if you have that process where you're doing your meditation every day and you're reading, you stay away from what I would consider poison to your mind. And we all know the world out there, I refer to it as the Matrix. I didn't come up with that. Shout out to Infinite Waters, he come up with that. But the world out there is like the Matrix. Nothing you see is exactly what it is. So you know that. Why are you trying to follow a fake reality? Why are you on Instagram trying to follow people who not even been real? They're not telling you how they feel afterward. Why are you taking in all this stuff? If you're taking in garbage, you know what's going to come out. It's garbage. I'm not saying those people are bad people or whatever, but they have different goals than you are. A lot of successful people are not mentally stable because you're looking at them based on one thing they do really well. If you practice something long enough, you have some skills, you'll be good at one thing. That does not mean you're good at everything else. So we all can see a lot of successful people who are not mentally stable. Let's tackle your physical. You must have a process for your physical. If you say you're gonna exercise twice a week, you're gonna try to eat healthy. I believe moderation is everything. You can eat healthy 4 or 5 days a week. You must have 2 days where you're enjoying yourself, going out with friends, enjoy eating and drinking, whatever. So if you say you're gonna exercise 3 times a week, and then you're gonna try to eat healthy, that's your process of staying healthy. Follow that. Don't try to cheat the process. If you believe you'll be able to cheat the process, good luck to you. One thing I've learned, you will never be able to cheat the process. If you cheat the process, you'll be cheating yourself. So stick with your process. Don't try to cheat it. Remember, the hard work is done when nobody is looking. If you're trying to do your work, you're trying to post it on Instagram, you're trying to show off, good luck to you. That may work, but one thing I learned, when you stare in the mirror, the one person that you see is yourself. The one person you have to be true to is yourself. If you cannot be true to yourself, how do you expect to be true to everyone else? So do the hard work when nobody's looking. When you're running, you say you're gonna run 2 miles, and at miles 1.5, you start getting tired. You're like, I wanna quit, I wanna get back to my car. No, hold yourself accountable, run 2 miles. If you say you're gonna run 2 miles, do 2 miles. If you say you're gonna do 20 push-ups a day, do 20 push-ups a day. Don't try to be crazy. Now, don't look at somebody who's going to the gym 7 days a week, doing all this kind of stuff, and you're trying to model that. Your process is not the same. Remember, your goal is not the same as them. they're trying to be the fittest person alive, or they're trying to be one of the fittest people alive. Remember, that's being good again at one thing. If that's what you want to be, if you just want to be the fittest person alive, model yourself after that. But if you're trying to live a balanced life, moderation. Try to don't look at those people. So physical part, like I said, your health, whatever you say you're going to do, try to eat right, try to exercise, and try to live a balanced life that way. Now, we're talking about your financials. How do you improve your financials? Well, you must have a career. Well, or you must come up with a business. Or you must be an entrepreneur. Same thing, but have a plan for that. How do you improve your financials? Well, you must have a way to make a living. How do you have a way to make a living? You must have a product that people want. What is that product? It's whatever you do well. So don't try to, again, everybody's a doctor, let me be a doctor. Everybody's working a corporate life, let me be a corporate life. Look at what you do well. Remember, if something comes natural to you, you will be good at it. If you just put in the minimum amount of work. Now, let's say you're trying to force yourself to do something you're not good at naturally, you'll have to put in a lot of work and you're going to see little results. So, in your finances, how do you stay focused? Well, you're not trying to keep up with the same spending as everybody else, because you look at other people who may want to buy a $1 million house, an $800,000 house, but again, you don't know where they are in the process. Some of those people started really early, they made some really good investment, and those investments came out really well. That's what they are. Then you try to measure up to somebody like that. No, focus on yourself. If you say, you know what, I'm going to go to school, I'm going to get my degree, or I'm going to start a business, don't look around and be like, oh my God, it's not working. Everybody else is doing so much better. No, stick to what you do. Eventually, if you have a good process, you stick to it, you'll be just fine. And if that business doesn't work out, you'll learn from it, you'll adjust, and you'll come up with another business. Again, just because it's not working right now, it doesn't mean it will not work tomorrow or the next year. So we talk about your mentals, we talk about your physicals, we talk about your financials. The last aspect is your relationship. You must have a process for your relationships. We all know social media this day, everybody's trying to portray a picture of perfection when it comes to their relationship. You don't know what happened behind closed doors. Now, how do you keep a relationship growing? Remember, I heard my grandparents say this all the time. A relationship is almost like a flower. You keep watering it, it will bloom. If you stop watering it, it will die. Again, keep everybody out of your relationship. Do the necessary work. In order for two people to work together, they also must work on themselves. Work on yourself. Work on your issues. Try to resolve those issues. Communicate. And then make sure you have common goals that you guys can work on. Again, I know I was trying to keep this video short, but I feel like this is important. And I know a lot of you are struggling. You're trying to jump from here to there, jump from there to there. No, trust me. Come up with your process. Stick to it. Remember, this race of life, you run it alone. You may have people that may help you along the way, hand you a cup of water, help you there. But at the end of the day, you run it alone. Don't focus on anybody else. Don't focus on what's out there in the matrix. Don't focus on it. Focus on yourself. Do your work behind closed doors and continue to improve day by day. Don't wait for somebody to tell you what your weaknesses are. Learn about yourself. You know yourself better than everybody else. Sometimes we may choose to lie to ourselves, but if we sit back and be honest, we know ourselves better than everybody. If you know you're not a good writer, you have plenty of tools today online to become a better writer. That will improve your career. If you know you're not good at time management, plenty of courses are out there to help you improve your time management skills. If you know you have trouble eating right, plenty of tools out there to tell you to eat. If you do not know what to eat, you have plenty of tools out there to teach you and show you what to eat. Don't make excuses. Don't try to. Another thing I see people do when the process is not working, they start looking around for people to blame. Well, my dad wasn't around, my mom wasn't around. Don't get me wrong; those things do have an impact. Oh, this is happening around me. Oh, terrorism. Oh, this and that. Don't come up with excuses. At the end of the day, you're responsible for you. Life will throw obstacles your way. It's your job to get around those obstacles and get to your goals. Again, guys, thank you. This video is a little bit longer than expected. I will definitely have a part 2 of this video, and hopefully this was helpful for some of you. And thank you again. Until the next video, I'll see you next time.